moments of this wonderful, wonderful year. I'm going to start with, so this is in no particular order, but as we go up, they're going to kind of get a little bit more potent, a little bit more, fiery, a bit more jumping out of your seat. Whoa, that was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So starting off, Grasso versus Shevchenko 1. That was a shocker.
Was a shocker.
That was a shocker.
Yeah. No, ending by submission. Rear naked choke, was it?
Rear naked choke, taking the back like an absolute ninja, Grasso did.
And taking the belt in turn.
Taking the belt in the process. And she's still holding on to it after they drew. They drew, didn't they?
They
yeah.
did.
After their draw in their last fight.
Rematch, yeah, so
probably fight again at some point.
Yeah, it sets up a nice little trilogy for the two of them. I'm sure that's a nice little moneymaker down there in the women's division.
Absolutely.
It is, if we're honest, it is hard to get the ball rolling sometimes.
It is
down there.
Can be. They don't have balls.
I said, well,
yeah. So it is hard to get it rolling. But Grasso Shevchenko 1, the first time it happened, was a big shock. No one expected that to happen. Shevchenko came in there as a massive underdog. Grasso came in there as a massive underdog, as is regular with opponents of Shevchenko. But Shevchenko was the one that ended up with the big red mark on her face from being squeezed. And it wasn't a choke that was under the chin. It was on the chin, but it was fucked. And it was likely going to break her jaw if she didn't tap. That was a crazy squeeze that she had.
They weren't main event of their card, were they? Though?
No, they were co-main.
Who was main event of that card?
Let's
have a look. Because I want to know when in the year that was. Because I remember watching that live.
Yeah, same.
A nice little event it was. That was the
298, 285. Why did I say 298? It was on the Jones Garn fight night.
Wow.
Card.
Oh, so that was a wee while ago.
That was a sick card, bro.
When was that? I'm looking like an old person.
March 5th.
March 5th. God damn.
That was a pretty good fight night. That was a really good card, just looking back at it. But yeah, that's our number one moment. Shevchenko getting upset in the first fight against Grasso. Pretty awesome. It was awesome to see Grasso lift that belt. She's so cute.
Yeah, she's a tidy little number.
She's just very nice.
Yeah.
Like she's and obviously her coach is very cool as well. Good
vibes from that camp.
Do you know who her coach is?
No. Who is it?
One of our friends gets hard over him every night.
Diego Lopez.
Correct. That's the coach.
Yeah, I saw him cornering someone else.
Aldana.
Yeah,
he coaches her too.
Good on him.
He's a very good coach.
Shout out Dylan Harrison.
Shout out to Dylan Harrison. Not shout out to Harry, because he doesn't listen. That's not actually his last name. I'm not going to tell you his last name.
I don't really know him. Man. I don't really know him. I don't really know all of our listeners. I don't know all of them. I don't know all of you guys like that. I am willing to share a McFlurry with all of you at some stage.
Yeah, you better be buying people that, honestly. Like,
they just need to seek me out.
Go on Seek, apply for a job at Jackson.
Seek me out. I'll put a McFlurry on Seek and you can apply for it.
Correct. I'm gonna say something else here. I'm gonna say something else.
Okay. About this fight, maybe. I know. We're moving on from this fight.
Poirier, unless you had more to say.
No.
Didn't?
No, that was good.
Shut your mouth, bitch.
Gaethje versus Poirier for the BMF belt.
Baddest motherfucker.
Back on the line.
And it left American Top Team. We saw it go to wherever Gaethje trains.
Yes, we did. And in a very exciting fashion. A very good fight getting finished in the second round. The first round, however, was just as exciting, in my opinion. It could have gone either way. I remember having some arguments online with some people about what way the fight did go in that first round.
Yeah.
Because I think there's, Poirier was looking good.
He
had some good moments. They both had some good moments.
Pretty even that first round.
It was. So, both guys looking quite good. Neither of them having a fight since then. But some potential exciting matchups coming up for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what a moment. A great head kick.
Yeah.
From from Justin Gaethje, something we don't normally see him throw.
No, he's usually a leg kick kind of guy.
Which is the perfect excuse to go upstairs and switch it up for once.
100%.
It definitely paid off.
For him, he's like, oh my God, I've never thrown a head kick. Holy shit. I can kill someone.
And then he just wings that.
Yeah, and it was even blocked by Dustin, but it still got through. It was obviously very powerful.
Yeah.
That was a shocking moment, and it also kind of mirrored the knockout by Edwards on Usman the year before, and it was in the same place.
Yeah.
In the main event at the same Salt Lake City, 1-2 head kick.
It's always nice seeing Gaethje get a win as well.
It
because,
is, and it's always good seeing Poirier lose.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah,
oh, you're a McGregor guy, aren't you?
No, it's not really because of that. I didn't mind him for a while, but I don't know. He's just a bit of a sore winner.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially after that hooker fight. Is that where you're going to?
That was annoying. But also, well, the Chandler fight, it was kind of like reasonable because Chandler was being a complete cock.
Yeah, that fish hook did look pretty intentional.
Yeah, but there's been other times where he's won and you know, he's just been a dickhead. Like even, Conor was being a dick. But he snapped his leg and he's like fucking.
Conor had said some pretty horrendous things about him, and was still sitting there saying some pretty horrendous things about him after Dustin had snapped his leg.
But Dustin was talking shit before Conor said any of that dumb shit.
Either way, yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a fan personally, but well, I just literally said he knocked out Bobby Green, so just saying.
He does some great things for his community. He's doing some great things for building his businesses, it's always nice to see a fighter making some waves outside of the organizations that they are owned by, essentially. Do you know what I mean? So that's cool. It's good that he has stuff like that, especially if he is going to continued to get knocked out. But I don't see him.
I don't know what's going to happen with him.
I don't think that'll happen. He did come out recently saying that he's in a tricky position in his career. It's not often that he has been in a position where he's waiting for something big to happen. He normally just takes fights and has built his way to the top, but now he's at the top. It's a bit of a different one.
He needs something special.
Yeah, he does.
But that was an epic moment nonetheless, and we're likely going to see Gaethje fight either for the title or number one contender ship fight next, and whenever he fights, it's absolute fireworks.
I've seen him fight Max Holloway next. We've talked about.
Oh yeah, true. But Islam came out and he said, I don't want to fight, I don't want to do a rematch. I don't want to fight Sarukian. I don't want to fight Charles. I want to fight Gaethje.
He needs to fight Charles.
I think he should. But again,
I don't think Islam's been a dominant enough champion. He isn't, like I've said so many times, he still hasn't beat a lightweight.
At the same time, think about it. People can complain about Islam. And why do they complain about Islam? Because he's fought Charles and he fought Volk twice. Now he's going to fight Charles again. And everyone's like, you need to start going through the contenders. It's like, well, I've already fucking beat this guy. I want new challenges. I want to start proving that I'm the best. You know, he's only got a certain amount of time at the top. He wants to beat everyone. He doesn't want to just keep beating the same people again. And we all know he's going to beat Charles.
I hear you. But
we all know he's going to beat Charles.
I don't know about
Come
that.
on, don't be silly.
The way that Charles looked against Dariush was pretty threatening.
Yeah, but Islam is so much better than Charles. So much better than Charles. Like, look, yeah, it'd be a good fight, but he's going to get absolutely hammered again. Yeah, he's cool, but Islam's just better.
The first fight.
He is just better.
Yeah. Okay, we will see.
We'll see. Moving on, Aldana versus Rosa, a recent fight. Potential fight of the year.
Yeah. No, we're putting that down on our list mainly because of that. It is a potential fight of the year, and it was just such an exciting fight. It had me out of my seat for 2.5 rounds.
Jackson was coming out of his seat.
Halfway through that first round, boom, out of my seat. I'm coming out of my seat. And just the excitement that came from it, the leg kicks that just opened up a kind of new wave of striking towards the end of the fight, because what those leg kicks did is they broke her down to a level where by the end they were both just slaughtering each other to the head over and over again. And it just made for such an exciting little bit of combat.
Yeah.
Like,
it's almost like the early leg kicks kind of set up just a primarily boxing fight.
Yeah, a brawl.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It was crazy.
Aldana obviously coming away the winner, and deserved win by Aldana. She definitely won that fight. But yeah, it was back and forth. Rosa had moments. Rosa obviously won the first round. Aldana had moments. There was some big punches landed.
Mm.
Crazy stuff, and that really carried that whole card as well. Like, it's not often you get a 295 like big pay-per-view card that's carried by a fight on the prelims.
Well, I don't want to sound sexist, but even more so, a woman's fight on the prelims. You know, there are people that don't normally bring the biggest names into the sport, but these, like we said, these two chicks stood up and fucking hell, man,
They went to war, man.
What a brawl!
And yeah, with the women's fights, it's usually like the top woman, the best woman, the two best women going at it. It's a banger usually. But when it's just like two up and coming women's fighters, it's never usually the most exciting. It's just not quite there. It's like women's fights are maybe like 10%, whereas the men's fight like 50% exciting. So it was a bit of a shocker, but they came to bang, and they did. They absolutely smashed it out of the park with this one. Awesome fight. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Did you want to announce this one?
The double slam event. What a statistic. Another event that we've already covered. I think at the time when we covered it, the stat still hasn't changed. I think there have been 12 or 14 slam knockouts in the UFC's history over a 30-year period, and 2 of them happened on the same card, one fight after another.
Rare is the word you'd use to describe that. Rare. That's what it is. It's rare. You don't see this happen often.
Wait, what is it?
Rare.
Oh, okay.
Like a steak when you do it
the way it should be done. Is that what you're gonna say?
Well, I like medium rare.
Okay. Yeah, it was incredibly flukish. We'll never see it happen again.
No, it's a rare thing.
Very rare occurrence.
Interesting. Tricky. No, it was interesting.
Buzzwords there.
It was super interesting to see. Yeah, we'll never get that happen again. I don't think that will ever happen again. It's like we were saying, it's uncommon for it to happen even in a just one in a fight night, and it happened twice back to back. I don't even think we'll ever see it twice again, yet alone back to back. So yeah, that was awesome. Both pretty violent. Slammed on the side of their heads as well.
It's such an exciting way to end a fight, because it does take a second, because they don't happen that often. You're not used to seeing it. It takes a second to register what's actually happened. And yeah, it is quite a big event, because getting someone
the Manny Bang
and getting them right on the side of their head, it's a pretty tricky thing to do. When you're pulling them up and bashing them back down on the ground, it's not easy to go aiming someone's temple, but yeah, to have that happen twice, crazy.
That was nuts.
On the prelims as well.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. But what can you do?
Well, not a lot when you've just been knocked out from being dropped on the ground.
Yeah, not a lot.
You can't do a lot.
That was a cool card as well. That was on the Saruki and Gamrot. Sorry, not Gamrot.
Saruki and Dariush. Kobe's just lost his tab and his can.
Fuck.
Moving on.
So we had Hooker versus Turner. Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. The comeback of Dan Hooker against a up-and-coming rising star in Jalen Turner.
Do you think this will be fight of the year?
I think it should be.
I agree.
This was so cool on many levels.
Yeah. The freeze frames that have been taken out of this fight are just incredible.
Yeah.
The way the fact that someone took that amount of damage and kept going it's mind-boggling. But an exciting fight from start to finish.
Yeah.
2 guys that are going in there with intentions of putting shin to jaw, or fist to jaw, and sleeping the other guy.
Yes.
There's no other way.
And there was moments that both of these guys looked like they were going to get finished or get a finish.
Yeah. So yeah,
that was. Can I just bring up two points from this fight that I absolutely loved?
Sure.
Obviously, Hooker broke his arm and continued fighting.
Yeah.
Insane. Also, Hooker getting head kicked directly to the head.
Yeah.
Just walking fight away.
The foot perfectly wrapped around the back of the head. Shin strapped against the jaw.
Yeah.
Like, it was a
Didn't even
picture-perfect
flinch.
head kick. Hooker just stood there.
This was the epitome of a Dan Hooker fight. It was a war. He made it a dogfight. Turner kind of gassed towards the end. And it showed us, Dan Hooker's not done. Dan Hooker's still here, and he's here to stay.
He's a hero.
It's a shame that he couldn't fight against Green. That would have been a cool fight. But
It still needs to take place.
yeah, I think so. But not after Green's last fight. Not for a while.
Well,
at
Dan's
least.
going to need some time.
Yeah, he will.
Can still happen.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens there. But that was an awesome fight on a great fight night. Hooker just reeling back the years with that win, and Turner showing that he can bang too. He did gas a bit. He needed to kind of he needs to fine tune his game plan a little bit going into fights, but he's bounced back. Since.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to see his cardio against Bobby Green. Unfortunately, that fight being finished in the first round.
Yeah, he just styled on Bobby Green.
But yeah, I think he would have learnt a lot of things from that Dan Hooker fight. The thing that we've got to remember about Dan Hooker is he has fought the best of the best in the lightweight division. So he's well tested, and he does have a bit more of that fight IQ than some of these guys like Jalen Turner probably have, just because of the level of competition that Jalen Turner's faced so far. So yeah, fighting someone like Dan Hooker, I would say, will be a big turning point in his career, and he will, I'd say, make some adjustments, make some changes
from there,
and really fine tune his tools so that he can take it all the way to the top. But yeah, I would like to see Jalen Turner continue on this tear after that Bobby Green knockout. Maybe get another couple wins under his belt.
Yeah, another late stoppage maybe would be good to see from him if he can get that done.
That's not his fault.
No, fuck no.
Um,
he was just doing his job.
But yeah, on the other hand, for Dan Hooker, I'd love to see that Bobby Green fight rebooked and for him to make another.
Yeah, maybe at the end of next year. Yeah. Moving on.
Alex Pereira.
Alex had what a year for Alex. He obviously got KO'd by Izzy in a huge main event.
Oh my god.
Then that was insane. Might talk about that a little bit later.
Maybe.
And then he fought Jan Blachowicz, obviously decisioned him in Salt Lake City on that undercard of Gaethje versus Poirier, and then right back into it in the thick of it. What was it? UFC 295, beating Yuri Prochazka for the heavyweight title, becoming the eighth double
by third round,
second round.
Was it second round? Oh, it was too. Very end of the second round, wasn't it?
A
minute to go in the second round.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Should we check?
Nah, I'm confident.
But that was awesome. Quite shocking. I think, well, not shocking. We both called it, but just to see Pereira go up to light heavyweight, and his power and his speed and his accuracy and his timing and everything just not be affected whatsoever. This guy's come from kickboxing. What, like 3 years ago? He came over from kickboxing, started training MMA, got into the UFC, and a couple fights later, he is literally one of the best combat sports athletes of all time within our sport. Like, this is insane. This guy is a damn insane person.
It is insane, man.
And
I think if he continues on doing what he's doing, there is potential one day for him to be considered the greatest combat sports athlete of all time.
He should be in the conversation.
For what he has done at the top of each sport that he has competed in is incredible.
Yeah, I saw some
there's
rumors.
these guys who go and they take an unbeaten record all the way to retirement, right? You got your Khabib or your Floyd Mayweather, but were they taking
the same
every risk they could on the way there?
No,
I don't know.
No, it's usually a little bit cherry picked. I mean, I'm not saying anything against this.
You've got someone like Alex Pereira who is obviously not doing that. He's taking the hardest fight every single time to claw his way to the top.
He is. You're not wrong.
So I have so much respect for this guy. I think the year that he has had this year has been incredible to just pick himself up, bounce back off that loss that he took against Izzy, go in there and really grind out a win against Jan. So impressive. And then to obviously go on and win the title in the fashion that he did. What a guy, man.
Yeah, he's an insane talent, and he's done some real special stuff. And I also heard, like, this is probably just rumors, but I heard some rumblings of him potentially challenging for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, I was going to get into that as well.
That would be insane. And if he did win the heavyweight title, that would cement him as the greatest of all time. Like, it would have to. He's
100%.
Double champion Glory Kickboxing, comes over to MMA, joins the UFC, beats Izzy, beats Yuri for the light heavyweight, maybe a defense at light heavyweight, goes up, beats whoever for the heavyweight strap. 3-weight division champion. He is the only person who could do it, I think.
Think about this. He beat Sean Strickland. I know that was before Sean was a middleweight champion, but that's one champion. He beat Izzy. That's another champion. He's beat Jan. That's another champion. He's beat Yuri. That's another champion. He fights fucking Jamahal Hill next. That's another champion. Okay, like if he beats, that's 5 champions in under 10 fights.
That's pretty good.
Then if he, what I'm saying, he is fighting the absolute top 1% of competition in the world.
Yeah. Well, he is top 1%.
I know, but it's bro.
Yeah, no, it's insane. He doesn't cherry pick opponents whatsoever.
Is this heavyweight thing that you're talking about? Was that from an interview that Aspinall was talking about?
Yeah, he said he was sizing him up.
295.
Yeah.
Aspinall sounded scared. I'm not like. What'd you say?
I would be.
Yeah.
Gary's a scary guy. Alex is a scary guy. Obviously, I'd favor Tom in that fight.
Yeah, he's got the size.
Got the size, the wrestling,
But I mean,
the jiu-jitsu. He's also got the power, probably.
Alex is getting on a little bit. You know, there's obviously no argument right now to say he's out of time in terms of his career.
You could definitely.
But yeah, a size up to heavyweight would need some time, I think.
It would, yeah.
But Glover has talked about it as well, and he said that if Alex were to do it, he'd likely fight somewhere around 245, 240.
I didn't hear that.
Still
interesting.
Yeah. Still big enough to fight at heavyweight, but is it enough size to carry enough power up there?
Yeah. Who knows?
It's a big shout, but if he goes and shoots for that, holy crap!
Yeah, it would be dope.
Whether he gets it done or not, I don't care.
Yeah, and if he did get it done, then it does. It cements him as the greatest of all time. You know. Yeah. So moving on.
We mainly just talked about Pereira there, but Yuri Prohaska.
Well, he won.
Well, he did. Yeah,
he did win. But yeah, it was just an awesome moment. That's why it was so good. It was him becoming double champ. You know, Yuri didn't really have much to do with it in the end.
I still like Yuri, and I think
I love the guy.
It's pretty hard for light heavyweight at the moment. I mean, there's obviously no John Jones there anymore. There's no one that's like levels or showing that they can be levels above everyone else yet. But there is a lot of top quality guys right there at the top, obviously, because so many of them have just held the strap for a very brief period of time. So
they're all ready.
Yeah, man. It's a nice little exciting division. I'm sorry to hold you up there, but yeah. Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling.
That was obviously a wicked moment. No one called what happened there. No one was predicting that to happen.
You don't think so? I think a few people out there were.
Or maybe like
some fanboys.
What I mean, nobody. Like,
the Nelk boys would probably.
Don't talk. Never mention those people on my podcast. Fuck those people. Not even because they're bad people. They just annoy me. Like just their faces.
Right.
Just like fucking what's his name? Dewey or whatever. The little short fat guy.
Oh yeah.
Steiny. Steiny. Yeah. Fucking Why is he famous? Like what? No, but just why? Just why? That's all I'm gonna say.
Sean O'Malley getting a knockout over Sterling.
Sean O'Malley getting a knockout.
We'll focus in on that.
Focus on the fight. So Sterling came rushing in. You know, he's looking for a takedown. He tried a couple takedowns, pushed him up against the fence, but he wasn't successful, not once. And, you know, the second round starts. He goes for another takedown, I think off a slip from Sean. And then he comes running in, trying to, you know, maybe make this fight a little bit of a dogfight, overextends. Sean pulls back. Bam. And one shot is all it takes from Sugar.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to talk about any one of these fights on here being a problem with the stoppage, this was up in the air a little bit, I guess. But Aljo took it like a man. It was a bit of a funky one though. You've got to say that to some extent.
He took a beating though, and he turned over.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good for him. But yeah, Sean O'Malley, what a rise.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously having a lot of success in the UFC so far, only taking the one loss to Cheeto Vera. Whether or not he considers that a loss or not, we'll just go off what's on his record in the meantime. But obviously having a great win against Piotr Jan, which set him up for this title shot. Beforehand, having the controversial exchange with Munoz. But yeah, I mean, the guy has made a name for himself, which not everyone can do. So I think that being the thing that's propelled him to the top, fair enough. Found something that works for him, and he's managed to beat the best guys in the world when he needs to.
Yeah, his striking is world class. He's got power. He's got the ability to slip, read, time people. And it works for him, like you say. His shtick works for him, and his fighting style works for him.
Yeah.
And he's obviously got some pretty decent takedown defense, which this could take him pretty far.
Yeah.
He's obviously got the upcoming fight with Cheeto Vera,
Right.
which is going to be an interesting one. But yeah, this moment was shocking. Yeah. That's probably the best way to describe it.
I like Sean O'Malley too. And I'm just saying that because of what I just said beforehand. But I just playing devil's advocate, because there's a lot of people out there that talk smack on these guys who do get maybe a little bit of an easier way to the belt, in terms of they don't have to fight as many times, they don't have to stay as active, and they can kind of build their name as a brand more so than building their fight resume. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think there's a lot of respect to the guy, because when he needs to go in there and beat the best in the world, he's managed to do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. He beat Jan. People said maybe that was Jan's fight, but he beat Jan, close fight, but he beat Jan, and then he beat the champ. That's all that matters now.
Knocked out the champ.
Finished him.
That was convincing.
Convincingly. Like, that's all. That should be all that matters from now on.
That's right.
People can't say he had an easy run to the title anymore. No. He won the title.
Aljo being one of the more dominant bantamweight champs we have ever seen.
Yeah, he did well. And in the way that he did it, it's just so impressive. Pretty crazy. No one would have thought. Got another mention.
Another mention?
Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland, UFC 293 in Sydney. I was actually at this event. It was pretty fun.
How did you like the event as a whole? Before we get into this fight, what was the rest of the event like?
The events, going to a UFC fight card is just the coolest thing, honestly. The whole thing, the vibe, everything. You get to see all these famous people. Like, you see DC wandering around, looking all big. And you see, like, funny people that, all the media members. You're like, oh, I've seen that guy interview people, and then obviously the fighters, and shit always happens. It's great fun. Just great fun. No matter how the fights play out or what fights are on the card, it's just awesome. That's that, first of all. Watching the event, the Sean Strickland versus Izzy fight there was crazy. Everyone was booing. Everyone was so pissed off that Izzy did nothing, because everyone thought he was going to get a KO in the first round.
Yeah.
In the crowd at least, and he just didn't show up for that fight. He just he wasn't there, and Sean performed so well, and everyone was just shocked. We had people walking out.
We should mention we watched this fight last night.
We did, yeah.
So
it was closer than I remember it being.
Yeah.
When I watched it on the TV, it was a lot closer than I thought it was when I watched it at the event.
Well, I think it was just so shocking for Sean to show up and be any competition whatsoever in the first place, let alone for him to be fighting for the belt for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the bigger headline after this event was that Izzy lost.
Yeah.
And I think, it really overshadowed the fact that Sean won the fight, because like we watched last night, there was so many elements of his game that he inflicted upon Izzy that were there primarily to shut down Izzy's game.
Yeah.
So
his defensive work
and
so
the way that he always kept Izzy on the back foot and out of the center of the octagon.
Yeah.
Izzy, if you watch most of his other fights, he operates mainly. I mean, we did see it a little bit play out a bit differently against Pereira, but that was obviously for a game plan that we watched play out, and we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, the way that Sean dictated his game plan on that fight was so impressive, and I think that was the main area that won him the fight, rather than Izzy not showing up.
Well, I think I honestly I believe that wasn't the best Izzy. No, it's nowhere near the best Izzy we've ever seen. Izzy didn't show up to that fight, but can't take anything away from Sean at the same time while saying that. It was a bit of both. Sean was really good. Izzy was crap, and he unable to implement his game plan. Unable to.
That's
adapt,
what I'm saying.
Unable to adapt.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because Izzy's always been able to adapt when people come in with a good game plan against him. They're like he's able to adapt to what they've come in with and surprise them, but he just didn't have it. Didn't have it. But it was shocking. Great moment.
Yeah, most definitely. And now Sean moving on to fight Drakus next. We'll see. Crazy. We'll see what he can do as a champ. I really hope that he can win and start some sort of title reign. Because he is good for the organization. I think he brings a new set of eyes to the sport.
He's good fun.
He's good fun. He is lighthearted at the end of the day, whether you agree with his views or not. You don't have to, and you can still enjoy just the kind of shit that comes out of his mouth a lot of the time.
The crazy man that he is.
So yeah, I like it.
I'd like to see a rematch somewhere down the line. Would be fun. If Sean can win and Izzy wants to come back, then I think we will see a rematch.
Yeah.
If Drakus wins and Izzy comes back, then he'll probably fight Drakus. Because there's some beef there, and then maybe the winner. This is how I kind of see it playing out, right? Drakus wins, takes the belt. Izzy fights Drakus, wins the belt back, defends it against Sean, retires.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is for Sean, if he loses the belt, his thing isn't going to be to get back to a title, but like he couldn't give a shit if he goes and fights for the belt again. Like after
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we will. The belt does change people's opinions a little bit, I think.
We will.
We'll see if he we'll see how he reacts. But he's an interesting character. Quite unpredictable.
No, I'll agree with you there, but so far what we've seen from him, it hasn't changed him all that much.
He's crazy.
Still rocking around in his Hyundai accent.
Yeah. Oh, he's asking for a Tesla. He was saying he said
he wasn't asking for one.
He said I might turn gay or something. Like, do I need to be gay if I get a Tesla or something?
Yeah, he's gonna go on an all vegan diet. He's gonna get a Tesla and an iPhone.
Yeah. No, he was doing some. He posted a picture on his story, and he was doing some mechanics work on his car, and he was like, "Screw this, guys! I think it's time to get a Tesla." But what else do I need to do? Something.
I did think we had two more of these to break down, but I've just realized
there's a double up in it.
There is a double up.
Yeah, I noticed that. The very last one. Would you like to announce this one, or?
All right, I'll announce it. Only because you asked me so nicely there, and I can hear the people at home. They're screaming right now. They're on the edge of their seats. They're like, "What is the last one?
What could it be?
What could it possibly be?" Well, it's obviously Izzy versus Pereira because we've already kind of glanced over it 3 times in this segment, but. Yeah. We should mention Izzy versus Pereira 4?
5. 4. Sorry, my
4.
bad.
Their 4th fight. Second fight in MMA.
Fourth fight overall.
Yeah.
Izzy finally got a win, and he did it better than... He did it the best.
Yeah. It was the most impressive stoppage I think we've seen in his MMA career.
Yeah, for sure.
Inside the UFC, at least to date.
And he was losing the fight up until that point.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? I ain't losing this shit.
He was put on the back foot against Alex, which I think after seeing Alex and Sean training together is obviously the game plan that Sean implemented as well, but obviously managing to not get knocked out up against the fence there. But yeah, Izzy coming off a recent loss to Alex in this fight after being TKO'd up against the cage in the 5th round after dominating the majority of the fight up until that point in their 3rd fight or first fight in MMA. So going into that rematch, we as New Zealand MMA, well, let's just say Izzy fans at the time.
I'm still an Izzy fan.
Oh, yeah. So am I. But getting back to this, I'm just saying after we've just been sucking off Alex Pereira for the last half hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a big moment.
It was
see-
huge for Izzy.
Yeah.
In his post-fight celebration when he did the arrows, the 3 arrows,
If he
it was
lost,
fucking insane.
if he lost this fight,
It was
there
all
was
over for
no question on who the better man was. But now he's got that win over him. He did it, like we just said, in an extremely impressive fashion.
Yeah, convincing.
It throws some question marks over the,
Yeah,
if they could still fight again one day,
yeah, they could.
and it would be a hell of an event. It would get massive pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah,
It would bring eyes from
yeah. It was shocking when that happened. Like just
All over the
seeing Izzy have the clip him that first time. That really made me jump out of my seat.
yeah.
Like that was one of the only moments where I really was like shocked
Yeah.
when that happened. And
I was
so
out of my
fucking
seat
excited,
before Pereira hit the
screaming.
ground.
Yeah, screaming, like super hyped. He finally did it.
Mm.
You know, it was just awesome. And I think that was a bit of a pinnacle moment for Izzy. You know, he'd finally toppled his biggest enemy, and he was like, "Fuck, it's done." Right? Like I did it.
Yeah.
I fucking did it. Finally.
Yeah. And I think a little bit as well that could have potentially had a bit to do with his downfall against Sean Strickland. He's just come off
Absolutely.
this win against someone who he thought was going to be the hardest competition he'd ever have in his career. And to his credit, he's probably not far off.
He's probably right.
But that Sean that he faced that night was, a different level.
Mm.
What a year we've had.